Hello, this is Carrier from ColoringKaria, and I have another video for you today. Today I have Halloween by Jasmine Becket-Griffith, and I did a review of one of her books some time ago, maybe like over a year ago. And we spoke earlier on in the year. It might have even been like May or April, and she sent me this book for review, and I've held on to it because I really wanted to do this closer to Halloween, where it would be more topical and where more people would see it. So so I have a review of this book. So she sent me this book for review, as I said, and let me show you the inside. So this has this paper binding, and it has like a craft paper inside. And she autographed my copy, and she also autographed the copy of the other book that I purchased for her. Now, I'll give you a link to her website. I believe that if you want the autographed copy, then you have to get it through her website. But it's also available on like Amazon and other places. And she's a pretty, like, she's fairly, she's fairly well known. And I loved her first book so much that I asked her to send me this for review, which she kindly did. So this was actually published last year, but I didn't get it at the time. So I have it here, and she mainly works on acrylic in her traditional paintings. This book retails for I didn't write the retail price, it's in the back. I believe it's $16.99, I think is what it is. And I think it's well worth the full price. The price on Amazon, however, is $13.60, and it's 8.5 by 10. And now this book is single-sided, but she does probably the best single-sided job I've seen from anybody. And I really wish more people would do something similar. So I think that technically you can't print a book with where only some of the pages are single-sided and some of the pages are double-sided. So one of the ways that she does this is the page facing the other page gives you information on this page. So she gives you information on the original painting, when it was done, and then you see the coloring page version of it. And these is great paper. I did the other review, I did some pages with Sennelier watercolor paints. I did some pages with Schmincke's watercolor paints. So this was pretty awesome that this takes watercolor paint, but it also takes watercolor pencil, which is what this is, as well as regular dry media like your pencils and your so on. And I have not tried markers with this, but you can see, because it's single-sided, it's quite okay. But you can see that the place where she signed me did bleed a little bit, and I think this might have been, this looks like a Sharpie. I can't know for sure, but I'm gonna assume that it was a Sharpie. So it will bleed a little bit, but again, because it's single-sided, it's not really that big of a deal. Anyway, let's get to looking at the actual pages. So these are the pages. This is like a Halloween themed book with a very, like, this is kind of a Day of the Dead, and like I said, she has information on the page in the back. And I'm not gonna do this only because it's only, it's really only single-sided, but there's a lot of really fun pages here, and it's not really, like, it's interesting because this isn't really a style that I would normally go for, but in this case I really enjoyed it, and I have really had a lot of fun just with looking through these pages, and I really wanted to do something for Halloween. I think we'll probably do a color along. I'm pretty slow colorist because I use color pencils mainly, and I like to layer and layer and layer, and that's just super slow. So I'll probably pick a page that is suitable for markers, pencils, and so on. And we can do a color along on my Instagram page, and I will I'll include information on that down in the description. But anyway, as you can see, she's got a really unique style of doing the faces. It's not something that I see a lot of, but I love the, you know what, I would love to do this in luminance. That's the other thing, is because the binding is so nice, and because she has it this way, I'm sort of hesitant to tear this book apart. And I did do a video on unbinding books, so I'm a little hesitant to tear this book apart, which is what I would do if I was doing it in color pencil. But I may do it just because, like, for example, this page here, I just really want to do this in the luminance colored pencils. Like, I just do. I think that this would be great in the luminance colored pencils. I think it would really pop that way. But anyway, so there's that. So as you can see, it's got a very heavy Halloween theme to it, but it's really well done. There's a lot of pages with a little detail, and then there's definitely pages with much more detail that you can do however you like. And she also has these little mini pages, which I totally love, these little mini pages, because these are great for people like me where, like I said, it takes me forever. And you can totally do that really quickly in colored pencil. So so there's a lot of fun stuff here. Oh, she got your vampire with your vampire teeth. Some of the pictures are a little like spooky if you're not into spooky, but it's not like, you know, super duper scary. I want to do some of these skulls. Anyway, it's not like super duper scary. So there's that. And I really love the way she manages detail, and the way she manages putting in just enough texture in the right places to give the full impression and to let you as the colorist sort of really work with it. Like, for example, the hair here, I really enjoy the way she does the hair. I've seen some coloring books where it's like the person drew each individual strand, but doing it this way really gives a really nice impression. Now, the thing that I had a problem with the first book was that it wasn't white paper. This is still not a white paper, but it's definitely a lighter cream paper, so that's really good. This might be the page that I choose for the color along. I don't know. I don't know which one I will choose for the color along. Maybe after we finish looking through at the very end of the video, we can go over which one this is. And I try to keep my reviews fairly, you know, like you guys know how I do. I try to keep my review fairly similar. Over the past, I would say the past like week and a half, I've been getting a lot of, let's say, hate messages from people who are not necessarily new. And it's just kind of, it's been a little bit much for me because I'm not used to getting so many so quickly. Like, usually I'll get one and then I won't get another one for weeks and weeks. But lately it's been a whole bunch really quickly. So that's been kind of a bummer. But I'm trying not to let it get to me and try to keep doing what I'm doing and do the same thing that I've always done and do my reviews the same way that I've always done, and just let it be. So I hope you guys don't mind that. Let's see here. Oh, I like this one so much. I really do. You know, this one reminds me of, if you guys ever saw Interview with a Vampire, is what this one reminds me of. And I really like this one. Which I don't really like horror movies, but I actually really did enjoy Interview with a Vampire. So there's that. Oh, this one reminds me of, if you guys haven't seen it, this guy that does Thug Notes, and he does like, you know, Cliff Notes, but it's like a thug version of it with this guy, Greg Edwards is the actor, and he's so good. And he did one for Edgar Allan Poe, The Raven, and it was really, really good. And I really enjoyed that one. So I really like his Cliff Notes. Oh, this one is so much. This one looks like a lot of fun too. I'm so not keen on breaking this book up and doing it in color pencil, but I'm also like, eh. And the reason that I do that personally is because like, I have a sensitive nose, so if I use the fixative on the paper, then it will smudge onto the other side. But then if I don't use the fixative, then it'll smudge. So, but if I use the fixative, it'll smell. So there's that for me. But that's a personal choice. You don't have to do that. I may try to figure out a workaround just for this book in particular, because there are a lot of pages that I really would like to do in colored pencil, and I think would be a lot of fun to do. Oh, these two, this one is creepy, and this one is like genuinely creepy. And those are the two that those are the only two in the book that I was like, okay, that's kind of creepy. And those are the small ones. So there's that. I was totally not creeped out by that, but you know, there's that. Oh, this is the cover page. It's really good. So you can see the difference between what she did and, you know, the way that she converted this into a coloring page. And she did a really good job converting this into a coloring page so that you can really let yourself go. Now there's some people who will gesso their pages so that they can then use like all sorts of mediums. I've seen people use like acrylic paints and just like really go nuts, and it just looks absolutely phenomenal. I can't, because you know, I'm afraid of the gesso smell. Like I said, it really bothers me, but that's just me. Like, whatever, you could totally ignore me. Like, there's, you know, there's that. This one reminds me of like Queen Antoinette for some reason. And there was another one like that in the first book too that reminded me a little bit of Queen Antoinette. Anyway, you can see this Halloweenness here, and I think that's it. It comes with a QR code with more pages you can see. The binding is really well done. Now the first book I think had oh yeah, it was the same way. I thought it was different, but it was the same way, where she had examples of the pages that she actually did back here, so you could try to match them if you wanted to. And I didn't really want to match them in the old book, but in this one, I really like the idea of matching this one and this one and trying to do something similar to what she did, and the color palette that she used. Anyway, I really enjoyed this book, and let me think. I can't really think about what page I will use for the color along on Instagram, but what I'll do is as we get closer to Halloween, maybe on October 1st, I'll pick a picture and put it up on Instagram, and you know, I'll say this is the one that we're going to do the color along for. So if you have this book, you can join me and we can all color it together and just share in each other's coloring. And I think that that will be a lot of fun, and you can actually see the images even if you're not on Instagram yourself. Like, you don't need an account to look at the images that are on Instagram, because my profile is public. Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. There will be a link down below for you to purchase this book, and don't forget to subscribe, because on Friday is I will be posting a giveaway for my birthday, so look forward to that. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hey buddy. What's up, baby stew? Oh, you look mad. All right, I'll let you get back to sleep. I'm sorry.